Hello students. Today we are going to discuss Bichromicum. So its common name is potassium bichromate, chemical formula K2Cr2O7 and prover is Drasdale. I will discuss it from इसके दुबे Materia Medica and Allen's keynotes. So let's start. Common name potassium bichromate, chemical formula K2Cr2O7, prover Drasdale. So come to the about constitution. It is written in S.K. Dubey Materia Medica. Physical makeup: fatty persons having light hair, fine complexion and suffering from catarrhal affection. So first, fatty persons. Number 2, light hair. Number 3, fine complexion. Number 4, suffering from catarrhal affections. About babies or child: fat, chubby and short neck. Fat, chubby and short neck. Number 5, short neck, chubby and short neck. Long neck, long emaciated neck. We have read in natrum mure. Disposed to croup and croupy affections. Thermal reaction of the patient, one of the physical characteristics. This is chilly patient. Patient is chilly. Miasm covers all three miasm, but syphilis is predominantly. Syphilitic miasm. We will read it. Ulcers and discharges that comes under the syphilitic miasms. This slide is from Ellen. Kalium bichromicum, potassium bicarbonate, common name, chemical formula K2Cr2O7. Constitution: fat, light haired persons. Number 1, fat. Number 2, light hair. Suffer from catarrhal, syphilitic or soric affections. Number 3, suffer from catarrhal, syphilitic or soric affections. We will read it: syphilitic and soric miasm. Fat, chubby and short neck children. About children. Number 4, about children: fat, chubby and short neck children. Long emaciated neck in natrum mure. Disposed to croup and croupy affections. So all about constitution. Now come to causation. Here ailments from of Bichromicum: alcohol. Number 1, alcohol, beer, hot weather. Number 2, autumn and spring. Number 3 and number 4 also from cold, damp also causation. So 4 causations: alcohol, beer. Number 2, hot weather. Number 3, autumn and spring. Number 4, cold, damp. This is also one of the causation. Her or his complaints aggravates in this season. Now about mind. Here it is written ill-humored. Ill-humored means झगड़ा कर लेने वाला, bad temper, irritable, low spirited. Number 2, low spirited, sad. We can say it sad, despondent and indifferent. Indifferent is lack of interest in anything. Easily excited. Anxiety arises from chest with distress in stomach. So about mental symptoms: number 1, ill-humored, low spirited, sad, indifferent, lack of interest in anything, easily excited. Number 4 and number 5, anxiety arises from chest with distress in stomach. About physical characteristic symptoms: affections of mucous membranes, eyes, nose, mouth, throat, bronchi, GI, genitourinary tracts, all mucous membranes affections. So one of the physical characteristics: discharges. Number 1, discharge. Discharge of a tough, stringy mucus adheres to the parts and can be drawn into a long strings. So discharge is tough, thick. Number 1, tough, thick. Number 2, stringy, mucus like. And number 3, which adheres to the parts and can be drawn into long strings. Discharge: thick, ropey also, ropey, stringy mucus, ropey, plug like, green color. Here I am writing ropey, green, adheres to the parts and can be drawn into long strings. So about discharge. Next, complaints occurring in hot weather. Hot weather is also causation, one of the cause. Hot weather or aggravation time. Liability to take cold in open air. Open air, liability to take cold. Patient is chilly. Patient is chilly. Thermal reaction we have already read. Chilly patient. Next come to rheumatism. Alternating with gastric symptoms. Rheumatism. Second number. One of the physical characteristic symptoms. Rheumatism alternating with gastric symptoms, one appearing in the fall and other in the spring. If rheumatism in the fall, then gastric symptoms or gastric troubles appear in spring. Rheumatism and dysentery alternate also, abrotum. So first rheumatism may be alternate with gastric symptoms, one in fall, other in spring. And number two, rheumatism alternates with dysentery, also seen in abrotum, alternating symptoms about rheumatism. So autumn and spring. So number two, physical characteristics, alternating symptoms. About alternating symptoms, rheumatism alternates with gastric symptoms, one in fall, other in spring, or rheumatism alternates with dysentery, also in abrotum. Now come to the third symptom, pain. About pain, we will see here about pain. So pain in small spots can be covered with point of finger, like in ignatia, can be covered with point of fingers. Shift rapidly from one part to another, like calisulf, lactic acid, pulsatilla. Pulsatilla, calisulf, shifting type of pain, appear and disappear suddenly. Come suddenly, goes suddenly, like in belladonna, ignatia, magphos. You have to memorize it. Very much important. Pain appears suddenly, comes suddenly, and goes suddenly. Belladonna, ignatia, magphos, and calibi. We are reading it calibi. Shifting type of pain, rapidly shift from one part to another. Calisulf, pulsatilla, lactic acid, calibichrome. Pain in small spots can be covered with point of finger. Neuralgia every day at same hour. This is pain in neurons. Neuralgia every day at same hour. So about pain, we have read physical generals. Number one, discharges. Number two, alternating symptoms. Number three, about pains. Now come to about headache. Before headache, blurred vision or blindness precedes the attack. Before headache, blurred vision or blindness. There is blindness or blurred vision before headache. As in gelsemium. And what is the causation of headache? Suppressed catara. Causation, suppressed catara. Before headache, blurred vision or blindness precedes the attack. And character of headache or character of pain, that is pain, number one, pain comes suddenly, goes suddenly. And number two, this is pain can be spots, pain in small spots that can be covered with tip of finger. That can be covered with tip of finger about headache. And number three would be shifting type of pain, shifting, rapidly shifting type of pain. So character of pain. Now come to modalities. Must lie down, this is amelioration. Aversion to light and noise, this is aggravation. Sight returns as headache increases, this is concomitant symptoms. Concomitant symptoms. Sight returns as headache increases. So about headache, if coming in exam, you have to write like that. Causation, suppressed catara. Before headache, blurred vision or blindness precedes the attack. And character of headache: number 1, pain comes suddenly, goes suddenly. Number 2, pain in small spots, can be covered with tip of finger. Number 3, shifting kind of pain, rapidly shifting from one part to another. And about modality: aggravation from light and noise, amelioration from lie down. Concomitant sight returns as headache increases, as in Natramur, iris. Now come to the nose symptoms. Nose: pressive pain in root of nose, in forehead and root of nose. Sticta pulmonaria. Forehead and root of nose, sticta pulmonaria. And in root of nose, pressive pain, calibicrom. Discharge: discharge of plugs, clinkers, tough, ropey, green, fluid mucus in clear masses, and has violent pain from occiput to forehead if discharge ceases. So, next point, ulceration of septum. About nose: ulceration of septum with bloody discharge or large flakes of hard mucus, as in alumina, sepia. Ulceration of septum with bloody discharge. Discharge is bloody, tough, ropey, stringy. Discharge of plugs, clinkers, or large flakes of hard mucus. Now come to throat. Edematous, bladder-like appearance of uvula. Swelling, much swelling, much swelling, but little redness, as in rustox. Diphtheria, pseudomembranous deposit, firm that is hard, firm, hard. Pearly, fibrinous, prone to extend downwards to larynx and trachea. Reverse of bromine. Deep eating ulcers in fauces, often syphilitic. Ulcers often syphilitic. Wherever is ulcer, we can think of maybe it belong to syphilitic miasm. So about throat: edematous, swelling, but little redness, bladder-like appearance of uvula. Bladder-like appearance. This is very much important. Bladder-like appearance of uvula. Diphtheria: pseudomembranous deposit, firm, pearly, fibrinous, prone to extend downwards to larynx and trachea. Deep eating ulcers in fauces, often syphilitic. Now about GI. Gastric complaints. Bad effect of beer. Beer is also one of causation. Loss of appetite, weight, in pit of stomach. Flatulence, aggravation soon after eating. Vomiting of ropey mucus and blood. Round ulcer of stomach. Ropey discharge and ulcer, one of the characteristics of calibicrom. Flatulence aggravates after eating. As soon as he eat, flatulence and vomiting of ropey mucus and bloody vomiting. Round ulcers of stomach. Bad effects of beer, loss of appetite. About male reproductive system: sexual desire absent in fleshy people. Fleshy people, muscular people have lot of flesh, दिखने में एकदम हट्टा कट्टा दिखेगा, but sexual desire absent in fleshy people. Female reproductive system: prolapsus of uterus, seemingly in hot weather. Hot weather, what happen in female? Prolapse of uterus. About respiratory symptoms: cough, violent rattling with gagging from viscid mucus in the throat. Aggravation when undressing, as Heppersulf. Violent onset, sudden, violent cough, rattling with gagging from viscid mucus in the throat. Aggravation when undressing, Heppersulf. Crow, horse, metallic with expectoration of tough mucus or fibroelastic cast in morning. On awakening with dyspnea, amelioration by lying down. Worse when lying down, lachesis. So crow, horse. आवाज आएगा, हॉर्सनेस, डिफिकल्टी होगी, ब्रीदिंग डिफिकल्टी, डिस्निया, ब्रीदिंग डिफिकल्टी, डिस्निया, ब्रीदिंग डिफिकल्टी, टाइम इन मॉर्निंग ऑन अवेकनिंग, टाइम, क्राउड टाइम इन मॉर्निंग अवेकनिंग concomitant with dyspnea, and horse metallic with expectoration of tough mucus or fibroelastic cast, discharge or expectoration with expectoration, and modality amelioration when lying down, aggravation when lying down, lachesis. About modalities: hot weather, heat of summer, hot prolapsus of uterus, beer also, amelioration after eating also. Amelioration: skin symptoms are better in cold weather, skin symptoms better in cold weather, reverse of alumina and petroleum. Compare bromium hypersulf iodine in croupy affections after cantheris or carbo has removed the scrapings in dysentery. So come to SK Dubey. About guiding symptoms, what is written? Number 1, discharges from mucous membrane, tough, stringy, which adhere to the parts and can be drawn into long strings. Hydrastis bovesta. Number 2, pain in small spots. About pain. Sorry. So about pain. Pain in small spots that can be covered with tip of finger. In ignitia, shifting kind of pain runs through whole calibichrome. Keynote symptom of the drug. Flying character of pain. May asked in viva. Flying character of pain. Pulsatilla. Rapid shifts from one place to another. Goes from side to side sometimes. Here and sometimes there. Pain comes suddenly, disappears suddenly. Belladonna ignitia magfos. Belladonna ignitia magfos. About desire for beer, acids, aversion to meat. About aversion, one of the physical characteristics: desire beer, acids, aversion to meat, water, to rise from bed, to move out, about. Edematous bladder-like appearance of uvula in rustox and apis. Pressive pain in root of nose, discharge of plaques, clinkers. Alternating symptoms: rheumatism alternates with gastric symptoms, one in fall, other in spring, or rheumatism alternating with dysentery, abrotum. Spottiness, stringiness, and yellowishness mark the remedy. Discharge is yellow, green. Sexual desire absent in plethoric people. Plethoric lot of blood. Calibichrome patient is generally chilly. Physical characteristics: yet his symptoms occur and aggravate in hot summer weather. Symptoms aggravate in hot weather, but patient is chilly, such as skin diseases, rheumatism, dysentery. So all about calibichrome, I am summarizing it now. Calibichrome. So calibichrome, prover Dresdel, common name potassium bichromate, K2Cr2O7. Constitution: fatty persons have light hair, fine complexion, suffering from catarrhal affection. About babies: fat, chubby, short neck, long neck, nectrum, disposed to croup and croupy affection. Syphilitic miasm. Now come to mental symptoms: irritable, despondent, sad. Here it is about mental symptoms in SK Dubey. Ill-humored, low-spirited, sad, ill-humored आंसर कर देता है उल्टा. Indifferent, lack of interest in anything. Number 4, easily excited. Number 5, anxiety arises from chest with distress in stomach. About causation: alcohol, beer, hot weather, autumn and spring. And number 4, cold, damp also. So about guiding symptoms, physical characteristics: about discharge, tough, stringy mucus, affections of mucous membrane which adheres to parts and can be drawn into long strings, rupee discharge, green discharge. Alternating symptoms: pains, about pain I have discussed. You can remember like this: headache comes suddenly, character of pain comes suddenly, goes suddenly. Number 2, pain in a small spots, and number can be covered with tip of finger. Number 3, shifting kind of pain, flying kind of pain. Or all about headache: nose, pressive pain in root of nose, discharge of plugs, clinkers, violent pain from occiput to forehead if discharge ceases. And about ulcers: ulceration of septum, bloody discharge, large flakes of mucus. And about throat: bladder like appearance of uvula, swelling, ulcers, diphtheria, GI, gastric complaints, flatulence, vomiting, ropey mucus of blood, and ulcer of stomach. About male reproductive: sexual desire absent in fleshy people. About female: prolapsus of uterus in hot weather. Respiratory complaints: cough, violent rattling with gagging from viscid mucus in the throat. Aggravation when undressing, as in Heppercell. Croup in the morning on awakening with dyspnea, amelioration by lying down. Hoarse, metallic with expectoration of tough mucus. Modality: heat of summer, hot weather, aggravation and amelioration in cold weather, especially skin symptoms. So all about this. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.